Hey guys, we're back at it again today with one of the fundamental movements. This should be quite fun because we've never done one of these, right?
No, never.
Okay, so fully improv on the fly. Reem's going to do a squat. What we have done is I've told her to use a similar foot position to that which we usually use on leg press, which we've done a lot of. Because we've predominantly just been trying to hammer the leg muscles and build some muscle there. But this is your best option if you're just honing your body weight. Let's look at, why don't you just go through a squat now? Just do a squat and then I can kind of guide you through it. Okay, perfect. So what Reem's doing here as well is, come back up again, is as for what we've been learning on the leg press, she's trying to keep her knees sort of outwards, out of the way of her hips really. That's it, good. So the weight is sort of slightly on the outside of the foot, a little bit towards the heel, but that's ending up in her knees tracking really quite nicely. Go down again. Yeah, perfect. So you just want to watch out for them caving inwards. If they start to cave inwards, it means that you're probably, usually you're just not paying enough attention to how you're balanced on your feet. And you're just not trying hard enough to keep them outwards. Perfect. But her knees are tracking quite nicely there. Honestly, there could be loads of reasons as to why your knees are falling in. That's not what we're here to teach you today, and no remedies. If it seems really bad, if your form seems really bad, I'd just maybe stay away from these and work on some of the other leg exercises that we've been doing. But let's go back down again into that squat, and then coming back up. Perfect. So a couple of things to think about here. One is a lot of people try and push their hips back too much in this movement and end up almost doing what's basically a deadlift, or in order to get to the bottom, you'll start seeing their back having to round. Why don't you try just maybe sitting a little bit more as opposed to pushing the hips back? So you're kind of sitting down a little bit. There we go, perfect. And then coming up from there. Good. So you don't want to like hyperextend the back in order to get your hips back. I know a lot of people initiate the cueing with that, but just going straight down from there is pretty good. As long as you don't see the knees like all the weight coming onto the toes or the knees coming forwards too much. It can go past your toes. Don't fall victim to that myth. That's not the crucial thing here. It's just how most people tend to stop you from putting your weight onto your toes. So we want the weight in this back corner, slightly on the outside, slightly on the heels, not exaggerated to the point where you feel like you're gonna fall over, just 60-40 back to front, exactly. So if you're able to sit downwards whilst also keeping the weight on your heels, that's probably gonna help. But again, as you squat down and then come back up at the bottom, it's a pretty harmless movement if you're not using any weight. If we were gonna get really pedantic about like squats, and I've done full day workshops on this, it's much more relevant when you have got 100 kilos on your back. So there's no need to be too pedantic about things at the moment because it's body weight. The only thing we would be pedantic about is if you were trying to jump squat.
Jump squat?
Yeah, so jump squat. Okay, so you've seen that this is a bit of a tricky one for Reem because we've never drilled this. And a big issue that I see with all of the kind of influencer stuff that comes out online is when people land, there's a lot of jarring in the knees. If you want to be able to do jump squats well, you need to be able to sit down, jump, land, exactly like so. Without
keep yourself light.
Yeah, so exactly. And you need to be super light in the feet.
Okay.
A lot of people, if you're not used to working out very much, or if you're perhaps a bit older and don't have as healthy a knee anymore, that's going to be tricky. So you just want to imagine that you've got super light soles to the feet and make as little noise as possible. Yeah, I mean, even for you they're not ideal.
Yeah.
And for someone like you, I'd just be like, well, do 30 bodyweight squats, and you'll probably get as close to kind of failure and get as much stimulation as possible. I would leave jump squats to people that have done a lot of them and are used to training in athletic application, and keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Perfect. Yeah, that content was perfect because I feel like your jump squats were a really good example because they're pretty good, but there's still like a little delay in like the toe and heel hitting the floor, and a little bit of jar in your landing.
Got it. I think it has a lot to do with like how tired you are there, because if you're doing like a lot of exercises prior to that, you know, your body's just like, I want to get over this, and then you just tend to like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it makes sense. And that's another issue as well, right? Like if people aren't used to telling whether or not they're close to failure, like we were discussing earlier, the difference between like when have you actually failed, and failure could be the difference between, okay, your first jump squat might be beautiful with that nice land, and your later ones are like, correct. Correct. Yeah. You're right.
And a lot of people won't know when to draw that line.